All right, everyone. Hello, hello. It is Kelly DeAscanis here. We are doing episode number 6 of the BlkOps podcast. Throwing a little curveball at you guys. I have our fearless nutrition leaders here with me, Miss Jessica Joyner and Miss Stephanie McConnell.
Hey.
And we're going to talk a lot about nutrition, of course. They have a lot of experience with one-on-one nutrition clients. We've got experience all together and individually with challenges. And we're just going to talk like all things nutrition. So first thing, what is nutrition coaching? What does that even mean? Let's just start there, guys. Jess?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, nutrition coaching, right? But besides the obvious coaching for nutrition, it's helping people to, identify their goals and then work towards them. And people have different goals. The majority of my clients have had a weight loss, type of goal, or, want to improve performance in the gym, lose body fat, those things, or things like that. And they all kind of tie together. Right. Mm-hmm. But, so it's then, drilling into their nutrition, looking at what it looks like, and then customizing, tailoring, a nutrition, based on that person. Right. Cool. And nutrition isn't just a one size fits all. So there are going to be many factors involved. So it is, having someone really laser focus on you as the individual, and then helping you stay accountable.
Cool. Now, do I have to know anything to get started?
Yes.
I'm just kidding.
To get started with nutrition, I mean, first I, need to know about you, right? Okay. And what does your diet look like, right? Okay. I do get a lot of people that come straight to me and they say, I need to know what to eat. Yep. I need to know how much to eat.
Yeah.
And I say, I need to know that too. So let's take a look, like start tracking your food. And then, let's see what your diet looks like. And, from there, there's fine tuning and adjustments from there. But, I would say it's not just about nutrition either. Mm-hmm. There are other factors involved. There's sleep. There's, stress, mood, hydration. There's all these other factors, exercise, right? That all kind of tie in together. So it's not just, the foods that you're eating. Okay. There are many other factors involved too.
Steph?
So nutrition coaching, like all the things that Jess said, plus the accountability piece. So I think the accountability piece is where the magic happens, and we'll talk more about that later. But looking at where you're at and meeting you where you are, mm-hmm. so that you can take small steps to make those little improvements and not feel overwhelmed or stressed or put too much on your plate at once. The most successful diets or plans are the ones that are manageable. So if you've ever tried something like a diet that tells you to restrict your calories and restrict the food you eat, it's probably not going to last that long. Mm-hmm. And that's where most diets fail, like the keto diet or
carb
all
free.
These, yeah, exactly. Totally. All these trendy
Any
diets.
Diet that has a name.
Yeah.
Usually exactly. No good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So meeting people where they're at, like Jess said, I do a pretty detailed intake form questionnaire, get to know you, find out, what's going on with you, what's your stress level, because if your stress level is pretty high, we don't want to put that much more on your plate. So it's super individualized.
Cool.
Like you said, it's not one size fits all. It's get to know you and figure out what you can handle. And then over time, making small improvements. And it's kind of like a long-term commitment. So we usually do 3-month minimum, but I think it takes at least 3 months to actually figure out exactly, your groove, and then kind of improve and keep going from there.
Now it sounds like there's obviously nutrition, everyone can increase the, how well they eat, right? I feel like even looking at us here, we all have we're almost at 3 different levels. We just talked about this last night. Whereas I'm pretty much at the beginner's level. I know, I have some more knowledge base, but I don't always practice what I preach. And it's not as high of a priority for me as far as hitting my macronutrients or, giving up, certain things because it's just not what I want right now. And that's fine. And then we've got, Jess, who is a little bit more in tune with what feels good for her body. She's more into the macro counting and, doing that. And then we got Steph here, who is almost at one of the higher levels because she's really eating to perform. And she's been doing this now for almost a year, you said, right?
Yeah, about a year.
Which is super impressive. And so weighing all her food, cutting out, a lot of things, but in a good way. And then adding in more of the good stuff. So let's talk a little bit more about that. Like how we can put people not in levels. I don't want to say, because being at the bottom, totem pole, like I'm happy being there. It's more like what is, kind of like lifestyle. So like how would we,
it's just like beginner, intermediate, expert.
Yeah. So let's talk about that a little bit. What would, like I said, do we need to know anything to get into nutrition coaching? My answer would be probably not, and it's really just getting to know each other, which is cool. And that's kind of what we're doing here too. So beginning wise, I can say no, I don't eat. Do you eat a lot of processed food? That probably puts you, at the beginning. Whereas, yes, I do, but no, I don't. And then consistent exercise. That's kind of a big thing.
And consistency with your diet too, yes. Right? I'd say.
Yeah. And so I'll have, one better day, but then today is not a good nutrition day. So that's where I'm still mastering those fundamentals, which I think is super important. And then my stress level right now is probably on the higher level for many reasons, which is, again, we're handling as best as we can. But that kind of puts me at the beginner level, I think, as well, because I know I'm not handling it as best as I could. And there's room for improvement there. Sleep, like you said, sleep is, not the best. And that is related to stress. And then so that pretty much covers level, the beginner level, right?
Yeah. I think most people, when they're coming into this, they're at the beginner level.
Yeah.
And I think it's also kind of important to say that you have to you can't expect to just go from no nutrition coaching and just eating processed foods to wanting a six pack.
Yeah.
Or, losing 20, 30 pounds.
Yeah.
So it's a process. And to get to that point requires so much intense sacrifice that most people, your normal average everyday person, isn't willing to do that.
Yeah.
So, and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's really a great thing.
Yeah.
Because to get to that point, it's really sacrificial. It's really hard work. It's tedious and it's not sustainable. So I think my biggest goal for my clients is sustainability and long-term success, something that they can continue doing once we're done.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
Teach them what they need to know to continue on without me, because I can't, I'm not going to be there forever.
Why not?
I would love to be. I'd love to be, but most people don't want me to be. So.
That's a big thing that I do as well, is just focus on, even with, I would say a lot of my clients are they're very involved with fitness, right, in the gym. And so nutrition is just that extra layer that they want to focus on, right? They're usually already motivated too. They're doing well in the gym. It's right. Exactly. But they may just be drinking a bunch of protein shakes and not actually eating protein from food. I think a lot of my clients too, if they watch this, they're probably going to laugh that I always look and find where they are missing fruits and vegetables. That's just a big problem, I think, overall. And I won't, try to go off on too much of a side tangent on that. Okay. But if we could just look at, our diets overall and look at where we can eliminate most of the processed foods from our diet and replace those with whole foods, and we would probably be better off in the long run, and that's sustainable, right? And that's where we want to do, because it ties into long-term health.
And overall, you mean like in a full week, not one day, because eating,
for sure,
every day, definitely,
ultimately you want to get to that point, right? But if you're never eating fruits or vegetables, which I think there's a statistic, it's 80% of Americans don't actually and eat enough fruits and vegetables in their diet. So if we could, just work towards getting to that place, then there's less room for the processed foods. Maybe you're not as hungry, and, maybe you will find that you enjoy those foods. And I think it's that it's not that they don't enjoy fruits and vegetables, right? It's just the accessibility of food. It's insane. I mean, if you go to Starbucks, there used to be like bananas in a basket, but now there's like banana chips, you know, in a package. And so it's just, our environment doesn't really set us up for a lot of success, but you can change that, right? And you can control that environment. And so again, if you just start figuring out how you can start adding in more whole foods into your diet, then you know, there's long-term benefits to that.
Okay.
So for a beginner, like someone that's not eating any fruits and vegetables, like you mentioned, Kelly, you asked like every day.
Yeah.
I would say, you know, just eat another serving a day to start for a week, see how that goes, and then keep increasing it.
Okay.
But the idea is not to just go from like no fruits and vegetables to that's all you eat every day.
Fair.
Because for most people, they're just going to give up. They're going to fail. They're going to be discouraged and they're going to give up. So it's all about where you're at, meeting you there, and how can we help you learn to eat a little bit better every day.
Now, so what if I'm on like the next level? So, you know, I'm, you know, constantly eating my protein, constantly eating my fruits and vegetables. You know, I feel like I'm hydrated. I'm moving my body. I'm supposed to, I'm sleeping. Like that puts me kind of at the next level, right?
Yeah. Right.
Definitely.
I'd say so. Cause you have a lot of the basics, right? And you have a pretty strong foundation now to work off of.
Okay.
And then again, it's all going to be dependent on your goals, right?
Sure.
If you want to lose weight, you know, gain weight, muscle mass, which again, the majority of people are probably looking to lose body fat, right?
Sure.
Improve like their body composition. And so that's where, you know, kind of,
macro,
right.
Macro control, right?
It is. And it's beneficial too, right? Because, macros aren't their own thing. They're not independent from calories. They're made up of calories. Right. And so regardless of how you look at it, you know, in an example of wanting to lose weight, you have to be in a deficit, meaning you have to cut out the amount of calories you're eating. Now, similar, you know, to the point of use stuff and a beginner level and, you know, eating fruits and vegetables, you can't just like slash 500 calories either. And, you know, think that that's going to be okay. So,
we hear a lot of people being like, oh, you know, I don't even know what their diet is. Like, oh, I need my macros. Like that's like the, you know, golden goose as to like how you're going to lose weight. But really that's like the next level. You know, it's not like,
it's not the magic pill or the magic formula.
And really like what, I mean, I've seen, and like I said, I've done probably more challenges than one-on-one coaching, but most people, even like Steph said, like you are going to live at level 1 and be perfectly happy. And that macro, like, I feel like you need some more help. And then we're going to get into, you know, Steph and how she's even at like the highest level. And even as a coach, she has a coach because that accountability she talked about is really, that's the golden goose. That's the, you know, the magic sauce is having people like on your side every day being like, this is what you eat. This is what you should eat. You know, this, I'm looking at what you're eating. I'm watching you. I'm, you know, checking in every day. And that to me, I say would be the golden goose, not necessarily like, you know, macros or you're eating this or eating this exact diet or this way, like having, you know, a team.
Yeah. I even say, too, at my level that, you know, we're kind of discussing is
second
there,
level guys.
Yeah, there is also still some flexibility, right? And yes, people at a level 2 or intermediate that we're talking about, there is a little bit more structure, you know, in the diet and a little bit more control if that's going to be, you know, at a macro level. But, you know, these people, you know, they could either be athletes that do like to compete, or they could be, you know, someone that just enjoys, you know, coming to the gym, and then they have their own personal goals, right? Like I really want to increase my PR, my back squat by like 25 pounds. And, you know, I want to be able to do pull-ups, just things like that. Right. But then they have a life on the weekend. Right. And I find that a lot, even for myself too, like through my nutrition journey, that, you know, that it's a challenge too, right? When you're trying to balance your social life, you know, with also trying to follow this nutrition program too. So there's some flexibility involved in there too. So it isn't as structured, which of course we'll probably, you know, talk about in the next level.
Yeah, perfect. Just go right into Steph here, my friend.
Level 3.
She is crushing it. Yeah. So I'm not even going to say much because we are obviously 2 levels away, but we can still, I can still do a lot, like learn a lot from her, and, hopefully she can learn something from me. We'll see.
Well, so first of all, I didn't start at level 3, obviously. I
Fair,
started
yes.
a long time ago, back before I was competing,
Baby
back
step.
before, I was eating, just so everyone knows it's possible. I was eating fruit roll-ups, French toast, pancakes, about 3 caramel macchiatos a day, and Coca-Cola.
Okay.
No joke. So
Okay.
that was my diet for a very long
Coca-Cola?
time.
That actually surprised me the
Yes.
most.
Soda, like 6 cans of soda a day. It was,
No way.
yeah, it was
Huh.
what you call
All
a
right.
trash diet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's where I started many years ago.
I don't know why the soda surprised me the
It
most,
was-
but
it's pretty
yeah.
foreign. Yeah.
okay.
So then, I obviously started taking care of myself and started kind of leaving out all the sugary stuff and
Okay.
eating more whole foods. I started exercising, and it kind of naturally evolved. So then I started CrossFit and taking my fitness more seriously
Mhm.
and being more concerned with what I was eating. So I just started eating mostly whole foods.
Okay.
And I would kind of do these challenges, like a 30-day challenge of just eating whole foods. And then I'd go kind of off of that and not all whole foods. So kind of back and forth.
Mhm.
Eventually I tried macros and I had really good success with that.
Success meaning like performance wise or like body
So
composition
both I had,
wise?
I actually got too lean. I felt
Okay.
like, so it was the
yep,
first time I
another
did
Happened
it.
to me too, actually.
Yeah, I lost
Huh, I didn't know that
a lot of weight. I lost a lot of muscle, but I was the leanest I had ever been.
either. Okay.
And I just learned how to calculate my portions, what a macro was, what I should be eating. And then eventually, I think I did that for about 6 months and then just kind of went back and forth over the
Mhm.
years. And then I started nutrition coaching. Thanks to you guys.
Mhm.
Got started here
Herself,
at
like doing
BlkOps.
coaching with other people. Yep.
Yes, coaching clients.
Yep.
And I started doing my own macros for myself. And of course, you're going to be a little
That's gotta
biased
be
when you
tough.
do that. And there's not any accountability. So I was just kind of, it was working, but not, I didn't exactly trust myself. So I got a nutrition coach and basically got permission to eat more. So because I wasn't eating enough. And because I was always scared to eat more. I wasn't starving myself. I wasn't really in a deficit, but I wasn't eating enough to perform as well as I wanted to.
Okay.
So that's when I really started to dial everything in as far as my macros. I increased my calories. Said, you know what, I trust this person. They know what they're doing. And that's been going on for a year. And slowly over the year, I keep increasing my calories, my carbs, depending on what my goals are.
Okay.
So I've been training for competitions. I've been training, increasing my training volume. So
She is a killer CrossFit Masters athlete for anyone that doesn't know
thank
her.
you, I try.
And I wanted to say what you just won and I just fell out of my head. What's your title right now?
I don't really have a title, but it was
I
second
know.
place at the
There we go.
Fittest Experience.
There you go.
In Texas.
Yeah, second
thank
place in
you.
the
Thanks
Masters
for the shout out.
level. You're welcome. You're welcome. And real quick, when you say you went back to like kind of dialing your macros, this is where you started like the difference between like, Jess here dialing in her macros versus Steph is that you started weighing everything, correct?
Yeah, I weigh and measure every single thing.
Okay. So that is obviously way more time consuming.
Yes. Weigh, measure, track, every single
More
thing that I
structured,
consume.
controlled,
Yes.
more
Yeah.
strict. There's no, I would say no like weekend,
Mhm.
not as much flexibility. That's what I'm trying
Right.
to say. Right.
Yes. Yeah.
And
So,
so-
it's I can go out to eat maybe if once a week when I'm not in training
Okay.
or like not right before competitions.
Fair.
So maybe off season. But I definitely feel the consequences of that in my performance.
Okay.
So the point being that level 3 is not sustainable if you want to go out on the weekends, if you want to have a social life. I don't drink alcohol. I haven't drank in 13 years,
Mhm.
recovering alcoholic addict. So that's not a part of my intake, but it is for a lot of people, and that's
Yeah.
okay. And I don't ever tell anyone to stop drinking. I just say, this is the facts.
Yeah.
Like you can't really drink and get those results.
And
it
that's-
doesn't really work like
That's
that.
what we're kind of talking
And
about
that's
here
okay.
too. Like all three of us are like I mean, would like to improve mine, but like we're all pretty comfortable at where we're at nutrition wise.
Mhm.
And there's 3 different levels, and that's one, that's okay. And 2, like that's awesome, you know, and I can support both of them and they can support me, you know, in just wanting to be better. And that's kind of the point of it. That's the point of nutrition. That's the point of fitness. That's the point of, you know, life, just trying to get better, and being comfortable and happy with where you're at. And if you're not, that's what we're here for, you know? If you stay tuned, I forgot to say this earlier, stay tuned. We are going to be dropping some secret knowledge at the end. So just to, you know, if you're like, okay, I'm done with these girls now.
Button.
I know. Woo, clap.
Sound effects.
I know I'm not touching anything because it'll probably turn off, and then, you know, that will not be good. So cool. So we just went over, guys, the 3 different kind of levels of nutrition clients, nutrition individual, intermediate, or beginner, intermediate, and then, you know, expert, advanced, however you want to call it, 1, 2, and 3. So going back to my, you know, original question to Jess, what can I do? I want you guys to kind of answer. What are your top 3? Like, what can I do right now? You know, I'm listening to this and I'm like, okay, there is no way I'm doing alcohol. I eat kind of, you know, some fruits and vegetables. What's something like, what can I do now? You know, even me, like as the beginner person, like what would you guys, you know, kind of start me with?
I would say
As general, I know it's
yeah.
very individualized, but like generally, like what would be, you know, something you would recommend? Some people that are watching or listening can kind of take from and be like, okay, like I can do that. It's not super hard, but it will improve anyone and everyone's kind of diet.
Yeah. To improve your diet, again, take a look at what you're eating, right? And then kind of identify how much of what you're eating, right? So again, if you're eating a lot of processed foods, obviously you want to work to scale those back and then include more whole foods. Now, what that doesn't really mean, or I don't want it to come across as meaning, as you need to look at what you need to take out of your diet necessarily, but where you can improve it, right? So if you're eating, you know, a big bowl of sugary cereal every morning, and that's what you've been doing, and that's your thing, you don't necessarily need to start by like just cutting that out, right? Why don't you maybe add a cup of blueberries to that cereal? Or why don't you kind of cut back on how much that portion size of the cereal is with those blueberries, you know, little things like that.
Okay.
And then I would also take a look at your home environment. What does that look like? Are you even setting yourself up for success, right? Like, do you have a bunch of candy laying around, or is your pantry full of, you know, boxed snacks? Start to try to look at cutting those out. And again, I know I might sound like I'm contradicting myself here of like, don't restrict yourself, but obviously like out of sight, out of mind, right? And also kind of on the flip side of that,
Don't put it in sight.
Well, put the foods that matter, or the foods that you know, want to try to put more into your diet. Maybe that's more fruits and vegetables, right? Like put that in front and center in your fridge, right? And so just, you know, have that prepared too. Like if you, I don't know, are going to buy like a pineapple or a cantaloupe, right? A whole one, that's fine. But if you just leave it sitting there in its whole form, I mean, and you're hungry, you're probably not going to go and grab that cantaloupe and then spend 15 minutes, you know, like slicing it up. Fair. Go ahead and prepare it, right? So it's that preparation too.
Okay. So just saying, look at what you're at, like be honest where you're at, you know, and see what you're eating. Find the good, find the not so good, and then try and replace the not so good with the good.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then try, you know, set yourself up for success.
Yes.
So what's in sight should be things that are on the better side, and try to put the ones that aren't so good, maybe out of sight.
Yes.
I'm trying not to say cut.
Yeah. Right.
All right, Steph.
So
where can I get started right now?
So I had someone walk up to me the other day and say, what should I eat?
Oh, yeah.
I said, just whole foods, like keep it simple, eat whole foods. It's so individualized. Like I could go, you know, you could do this, you could do that.
Yeah.
The simplest thing you can do is just eat mostly whole foods. Don't overcomplicate it. Just go to the grocery store, shop the perimeter, and get whole foods.
Read my mind.
There we go.
How do we grocery shop?
Set you up.
How, I mean, I know I also have 3 children, for those who don't know me. So I'm learning how to do it with children, and how to set them up for success too, because a lot of things that we learned, it was like, oh, that's just what we ate. You ate all the, beef, I know I did beefaroni, canned stuff growing up. And so that's what I'm, expected to give my children. And then it's like, I think about it, I'm like, well, why? I don't want to eat that. Why would I give it to them? And so that's a whole nother podcast on my own. But how do I grocery shop? What, I know if you guys listen to Steph and Antonio's conversation and podcast before, she's trying to talk to a little bit, but let's bring it back again. Like what's the best way to grocery shop? If I know now, I'm looking at what I'm eating, I'm going to try and replace, the bad things with the good things. I'm going to try and eat whole foods. When you walk into the grocery store, I walked in Acton the other day and it's like Oreos and Triscuits.
Right,
and I was like, cool, let's just blinders. And then what?
Yeah.
Where do I go?
I say take a right.
Okay.
Or a left, depending on where the fruits and vegetables are. Acme's crazy. They're all different.
Yeah.
So stay around the perimeter
Okay.
and stay away from the end caps, because that's where all the temptation items are.
Usually
all
the
the
sale
sale
stuff.
items, like
Okay.
the ultra processed foods, the Oreos, the cereals, the frozen goodies. They're designed to catch your eye. Like they're there to say, hey, I'm
Eat me.
tempting, eat me.
Yeah.
And I'm cheap.
Mhm.
So try to stay away from the end caps and the aisles.
Okay.
I like to just have a list handy of what I want and stick to that list. So if you
Okay.
stick to a list, commit to sticking to that list, write down all the whole foods that you want and just stick to the perimeter.
Okay. Cool.
Even so some people might have a hard time with, cooking or preparing the foods. So there's things, I know you don't have a microwave, but most normal people do.
I don't.
So you
I'm
can
sorry.
actually get steamable vegetables that are like, it takes 3 minutes to cook
You can
them.
make
So
them in
you
the
don't
oven
have
too,
to make
guys.
this like, I love that too, but sometimes I'm just like, I have 5 minutes. What can I eat right now? So, like steamable potatoes, steamable veggies, just to get started. Like
Okay.
it's better than nothing. It's better
Okay.
than the packaged stuff. Just grab bags of those. Those are readily available, like salad bags of salad, stuff like that.
Okay. And that
Um,
kind of goes with Jess's like prepare. So like
yeah,
having
exactly.
that. Okay. I
Mhm.
like it.
Yeah.
I was going to say something too. Oh, someone I've heard, don't go to the grocery store hungry, which
Yeah.
I've been a
Oh,
victim
Key.
of.
Yes, key.
Very
Um,
key for me. Yeah. That's why I do Instacart actually. So
Oh yeah.
Yes.
So that,
Delivery.
yeah, that, I mean, that
That's a great
almost takes
idea.
away
Great
some of
point.
the temptation
Oh,
of
yeah,
the end
yeah,
caps and stuff like
definitely.
that. So
yeah. And I noticed Instacart has this like I primarily use Sprouts and
Okay.
through Instacart, and they have this recipe like section where
Oh.
they will they have all these different suggestions for recipes, and then it'll list all the products available at Sprouts for that recipe, and you could just add
Oh,
them to your
that's
cart. It's
Oh, that's
amazing.
really
Genius.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good marketing.
And they're
right
good
there.
recipes too.
Yeah.
They're simple
Easy.
and they're all whole foods.
Oh, sweet.
There you go.
I like
Yeah,
it.
that's
Yeah,
awesome.
definitely. I'm gonna go look that up.
Yeah.
Cool. So sorry, I'm looking left. We do have a little list because you guys know, if you know me.
Oh,
I'm
one
not
more
gonna
thing
remember.
real quick.
Oh yeah.
So farmers markets.
Oh, okay.
So
Oh,
those
yeah,
are obviously fresh whole foods, but they're also a limited selection. So they don't have all that fancy
Okay.
processed food. So your choices are limited. So if you really want to support the local economy and
Yeah.
get local fresh food that's grown in town, go to a local farmers market. There's
Cool.
one right down the street from here.
Yeah.
Highland Orchards.
Highlands. Yes, I had
Yeah,
a field trip there.
I like doing that because it almost forces you to get creative,
exactly.
because there's
yeah.
a lot of I'll get some produce because I do Highland Orchards too, and I'm like, I don't really know what to do with this,
Or I don't
and-
know what this is.
Right. I have to look up probably at least one item
Oh,
every
same,
time, but yeah, and it's just like kind of forces you to get creative
Oh,
with
And try new things.
exactly.
Okay. Next thing I wanted to kind of talk about is nutrition. We talked, we all are part of BlkOps in some way or another. Kind of nutrition and workouts, and majority of people are listening, go to, the gym. Nutrition and workouts. That again could be its whole podcast in itself, but we're trying to keep it simple to make sure you guys get some, takeaway information, simple things you can kind of implement into your lives. So if you are someone who does work out on the regular, just want to hear, kind of have a conversation, like thoughts on, eating before a workout, and then even more importantly, what to eat kind of after. So whoever wants to start doesn't matter
Just
to me.
carbs.
I know
Yeah.
everyone's like, oh no. She
Yeah.
I
didn't
mean,
say
protein
that.
is good too, but
Yeah. Before and after?
carbs are my life.
Like,
so.
Definitely after, I would say.
Yeah.
Oh, before too. So I think like I work out in the morning.
Okay.
As you know,
Yeah.
very early, usually 5 a.m. So I'm up at like 4:30. I actually do eat like a protein bar actually on the way to the gym, just to get something in my stomach, but it's also nothing too heavy, right? Because you don't want anything too heavy because it won't digest in time, right? And
Fair.
don't want to be doing a Metcon with stuff sloshing around your stomach. So I always try to recommend something small. But you know, I don't really know that it's going to really change the outcome of
Yeah.
your workout when you're working out that early, unless you're working out like, you know, over an hour or 90 minutes. Like
Yeah.
at that point, yes, your body's going to start tapping into reserves. And if nothing's there, then,
you're
know,
gonna pass out.
right. So,
Which you don't want.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I mean, people that may work out later in the day, I think definitely you
Have a
do
little
want
snack.
to try to kind of prioritize
Okay.
some meals.
Yeah, I usually work out probably about 4 or 5 hours after I wake up. So I've had a couple meals by then.
Okay.
Like my go-to is overnight oats. So I have those about an hour before I work out. And then
Okay.
usually something little like fast digesting carbs,
Like what?
like bananas,
Okay.
things like that.
Cool.
Um
After or before, you mean?
both.
Both?
But,
Okay.
like oranges are great. I love having an orange. It's just a nice little nice way. It digests quickly, so it's not filling. It's not going to make you feel sick or anything.
Okay.
So if you
Got some
need a
sugar.
little boost,
Okay.
yeah.
I like that. I've never
Yeah.
tried that, but I
Yeah.
like it. Yeah. My workout are timing wise are all over the place. And so in the morning I don't eat, but I can feel that. And so I something little like that. And then the afternoon it's, you know, whatever I can get in. So I got to work on that. But cool. So carbs. Eat more carbs.
Yep.
I'm okay with that. And I mean, you guys know us, we're very real. So if you have any other questions about that, more specifics, just reach out because like I said, that could be a whole, you know, nutrition workout. And that kind of goes into like supplements. Like what, here's something. What, you know, do you need to take supplements? Are they, you know, I know it's not really a straight answer, but I feel like it, like I said, I'm kind of going through this. Like I don't really know what I'm
Generally,
anything?
I would say no.
Okay.
Now there, you know, if it's a question of pre-workout, well, I'm working out at 5 a.m. I'm going to be drinking pre-workout. Like it's just going to
definitely
happen.
helps.
Yeah.
It does help. Now, does that again change the outcome of my performance in that workout? Maybe slightly, right? Like caffeine, you know, it is a performance enhancer. So sure, maybe there's something there. But what is going to come out of that workout is how much work you put into it, you as an individual. So I always try to, you know, kind of bring that to light. It's that I know a lot of people think like, oh, I have to have BCAAs, like, you know, in the mornings when I work out and, or EAAs and yeah, like there's a time and place for those. So I'm not knocking them, but again, they're not like a requirement in order to do well, right?
Yeah. Same thing with protein.
Yeah, I think in my opinion, all the research I've done, all the supplements are exactly what that says. It's a supplement. So if you're eating whole foods and enough protein, then you shouldn't really need a protein supplement.
Okay.
So the protein shakes are for people that can't get enough protein from whole foods.
Okay.
So it's not like you have to have, if you're getting enough protein throughout the day, you don't have to have a protein shake after your workout. Like Jess said, it's not really going to change the outcome of your workout.
Okay.
It does help repair and build muscle, but again, you can just get it from whole foods.
Whole foods. Okay.
So it's not a necessity, but a lot of people don't want to eat right after they work out too. So it's a good supplement to have.
So the answer is yes and no.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point because it also depends, you know, depending on like if you're tracking protein, right, your protein intake. And, you know, depending on your goals, if you're eating like higher protein than the average person, well, that it may be harder to get that in whole food form, right? And like supplementation is okay. But, you know, if you're kind of eating, you know, it just lower or average level of protein, then again, you don't want to have like protein shake for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah.
Instead, you could just be eating, you know, a lean protein source. So.
Sure. So
From
I think
actual
it
food.
actually goes back to your point about looking at what you're eating as a whole and seeing where you can fit in or where you can make those changes to just put in more whole foods, real foods, and not necessarily drink your calories.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I like it. This one, I'm going to skip that question. Is protein the most important macro? I'll say it now because I said I'm going to skip it. But in your professional opinion, is protein the most important macro?
I lean towards yes.
Okay.
I don't know how you feel, Steph,
That's okay.
but
I think it
do.
just depends on your favorites. Like mine right now is carbs.
I was just going to
you
say, I
know,
have a
love the
feeling Steph over
carbs.
here is like, no, eat all the carbs.
But you know, I
Yes.
couldn't live without protein either. so.
Well,
Yeah.
right. And there's also, you know, protein, amino acids, and, you know,
But I think a good place to start for most people is protein because they're probably not getting enough.
Yeah.
So the average person is probably not eating enough protein. So dialing that in and figuring out how much you need definitely helps.
Okay.
And it's also very satiating. So if you're eating enough
Keeps you
protein,
full.
yeah, thank you. You're not gonna reach towards
Okay.
the other stuff as much.
Yep.
All right. So we're looking at our food for the whole week. We're seeing where we can take out or where, you know, where we're not so good at. We're going to replace that with some more whole foods. And that includes, you know, protein sources. So that's kind of where we're going with, guys, trying to keep you like, this is a very basic, like, this is how you should start. And you know what? And now I'm saying it sounds boring, but that's
It's pretty boring.
it
Pretty
is
simple.
But yeah, it's simple, but that's the boring, the simple things are usually what, you know, no one wants to do, which is why we all need nutrition coaches. It's just like, you know, going to the gym, like you need to work out too, like plain and simple. I'm not going to go into 1,000 million things you need to do. Like you just need to get your butt off the couch and move. So it's simple, trying to give you like the real life, you know, facts, information. And then of course, always offer our help. And I want to go into some more fun stuff. Not that that's not fun, but like I said, it's kind of like the boring stuff. Favorite meal, Jess, favorite meal. So every week you're like, I know I have this, I'm going to eat it. What is it? I want to surprise people too, because your answer surprised me.
I'm gonna stick with chicken enchiladas. Actually, just enchiladas. So I'll switch it up. I'll either use, you know, lean ground beef, ground turkey, chicken. I have a lot of meat at home, and I actually had to buy a chest freezer for it. So
awesome.
I have a selection, and it's awesome. But anyway, so yeah, chicken is what I had actually last night, and yeah, it's I throw it in the Instapot, frozen. Some water, some taco seasoning, chop that up, and then whatever vegetables I literally have in my fridge.
Like literally anything.
Anything.
Cool.
I think I put Brussels sprouts in my enchiladas the other day because I needed to eat them, and it was fine. It was good. Oh yeah, it was delicious. Cheese I do use. Yep. I'll sprinkle on top. I make my own enchilada sauce, and it's actually very simple to make.
All right. You know what? I was thinking about this. I started talking. We're gonna have to type up. You're gonna have to type this recipe and put it
in bio.
Yeah,
in the bio. Yes,
I can do it.
For sure.
Yeah. The whole point is like, you can eat enchiladas.
Yeah.
Hey, like
she's got protein. She's got, you know, eating
focusing on nutrition isn't just about having chicken breast and broccoli and rice. Although I know that Steph does eat that a lot.
But remember, guys, we're all at different levels of our nutrition, and Steph is on the more, you know, expert elite level. And so she's making that conscious decision like, hey, I'm going to be a little bit more boring and more structured and more strict when I'm eating because you know, it fits in with my goals. Whereas me, like, it's not something I want to do, you know? So that's the difference. And that's the, you know, the beauty of it is that we can all do that. And Steph's happy. She's not miserable.
I'm pretty darn happy about all these carbs I get every day.
Yeah. Well, they keep talking about carbs. Yeah. Give Steph more carbs. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's like it, you know, it doesn't have to be, yes, it's boring and it's simple. It doesn't have to be like gross and disgusting. And like, you know, I have a friend who did a physique competition and we went to dinner today and I was like, oh, you know, we're talking about food. Of course, we always talk about food. And I was like, you know what I want to start making? Like, cause I grill literally everything. I was like, is like white fish, like halibut. I don't even know what kind of fishes there are, but,
there's haddock, there's cod.
Yeah. Like I want to make that. And she was like, oh, I can't even eat that. And she did her physique competition. Gosh, this is before I was even married. So like 7 years ago, and it scarred her because she was like, I ate it cold. I ate it in the car. And she's like, it was awful. And I was like, I don't like, that is not, I love food. And that's really actually why I, got into nutrition, is because I love it so much. And I wanted to learn like how I could still love it and make it better for me.
Same.
And so that's, chicken enchiladas. You heard it right here. You can eat those in a healthy way, in a better choice way. And then, all right, Steph, favorite meal.
So my favorite meal is shrimp tacos and chips and salsa. So
Okay.
when I go out to eat, I usually go out to eat like every Saturday. We do a meal out.
Okay.
Unless I'm super strict that have a competition coming up.
Mhm.
And that's basically what I live for, is those shrimp, fish tacos and
Okay.
chips and salsa.
Do you make them your own too? Like, do you have a recipe?
I make chicken tacos. I don't have a recipe. I just, like Jess said, I just put some chicken in a crock pot, taco seasoning, throw them on a tortilla.
I'm gonna need both here. I tried a bunch of
delicious.
taco seasonings and I can't find one that I like.
yeah,
So
Got a good one for you.
Yeah.
all right. And then the enchilada
Siete is
sauce.
good.
Yeah.
Is that
Okay.
yours?
What?
Siete?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yep.
Oh,
There you
that's
go.
so fun. All
Yeah.
right. I'm gonna have to find it.
Yep.
And then my favorite meal, my go-to meal that Anton and I eat at least once a week, is just straight up steak and salad. Sometimes we'll throw in an extra grilled veggie, but always on the grill, steak on the grill. Our favorite right now is Delmonico. We've, pretty much tried them all. And then a salad is usually, I was just talking about how I really like purple carrots. So purple carrots, if I have them, or regular carrots sliced up, mini cucumbers, onion, and then either, whatever I do buy the bag salads that whatever one of you was talking about, whatever I have there, or like arugula, and then just olive oil, salt, and pepper. Again, I'll throw in other veggies, but even my daughter eats that. My son eats the cucumbers, and both my sons eat the cucumbers. So it's still something that like my entire family will eat. I will add, either, pasta or rice or something for them, or we'll, start with some appetizers, which is like, a baguette or something just for them. Well, that's for us too, but that's usually where we are, our favorite meal. So yeah, you're learning about us as well, guys. All right, next, snacks. So I get a lot of questions, especially when I do the challenges, not only like, can I snack, but more like, what is a healthier snack? And so we can kind of get into both. I have my thoughts on like snacking and, if I feel like it's necessary or not. And we all kind of have different thoughts on that. So let's talk about that. And then we'll give you guys our favorite, on the go snacks. So we're giving you our favorite meal, our favorite on the go snacks. So again, keeping it simple, you could replace one of your dinners with something that we eat, and one of your snacks that may not be so good with maybe something that we recommended. Again, just trying to give you somewhere to start, and then hopefully we can work together and help you guys get on to that next level as well. So Jess?
Yeah, I don't frown upon snacks, because I look at snacks as just eating a smaller portion of food, right? And so it's obviously it's what that food is. And so by snacking, I don't mean like a box of Cheez-Its. What I eat for a snack is every day I always have yogurt. And typically my meals are a little bit they're larger. So I don't snack as much during the day, but I will have like mid-morning, I always kind of get super hungry, probably because I wake up really early.
And work out.
Yep. Right. And so I'll have like something like yogurt. And it's actually something that I do try to implement with certain clients that I've worked with, because a lot of people just don't eat during the day, right? Like they get busy with their lives or during work, for whatever reason they may have. And then they're super hungry when they come home at night. And then that leads to like immediate binging, eating dinner, and then late night snacking on the bad stuff, right? And so that's kind of tying back to, I don't look at snacking as bad, because if you need to eat more during the day and you don't like to eat breakfast, right? Like you might need to eat a granola bar and then a banana and then a yogurt, right? Like I look at those as snacks. So,
okay. Now I'm going to be kind of annoying, but aren't granola bars and protein bars processed?
They are, but
I have to say it.
I said
someone's gonna
primarily
say
a diet of whole foods.
Mostly.
Right? And yes, any food can be part of a healthy diet when you are primarily eating whole foods.
There you go. I like it. And that real quick, another quick little thing you can do grocery shopping, which I meant to mention earlier, is to read your labels. So even like the steamed, like the veggies and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, if you get a bag of broccoli, it should
just say broccoli. Yeah. So even like the granola bars, like you'll, look at some and it's got a list this long of words that you can't even say. And then there's maybe another one that has, less ingredients. Always go with the less ingredients one, and ones that you recognize, like oatmeal, honey, that kind of stuff. So that's kind of where I was going with it. But again, I had to be.
I actually don't eat granola bars, so I don't know why I said that, but I do eat protein bars.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite protein bar?
I get the ones from Costco, like the Kirkland brand. The cookie dough and the fudge one, they're just amazing to me. Yeah. And they're 20 grams of protein. And so again, like that's probably, I would say, the most processed thing that I would eat. Typically I do eat things like pasta and stuff too, right? Technically processed, but it kind of goes back to like, I try to aim to eat higher protein intake. And so I supplement sometimes. And I also need something quick and easy on the way to the 5 a.m. gym class.
So chomp it on a chicken bone on your way in here.
Right.
Fair. And again, go back to look at your week. If she's eating a protein bar, a couple of times a week, but then the rest of her meals are real foods, that is awesome. Cool.
Yeah. It's like the 80-20 rule. Like if your goal is, for most people, like the whole foods 80% of the time. If you're doing that, you're doing a pretty good job.
Yeah. All right. Steph, favorite snack?
Favorite snack currently is
I'm guessing it's a carb.
Smoothie bowl. Yeah.
Smoothie bowl. Okay.
Yeah. So I blend up a bunch of fruit.
Recipe.
I think it's on my Insta like every single day because it's the highlight of my day every day.
I love it.
So I just blend up a bunch of fruit, put it in a bowl, topped with granola, dried fruit, stuff like that. It's delicious.
Cool.
My fave. Honey, lots of carbs.
Okay.
And to Jess's point, she brought up a really good point about I've had so many clients, like probably 90% of my clients come to me and they say, I'm starving at night. I snack all night. When I get home from work, I'm snacking. And it's so simple. It's just because they're not eating enough during the day. So if you're one of those people that you get home and you snack, just eat another meal during the day. Like problem solved. 99% of the time, they're like, oh my God, that's all I had to do.
I know.
So,
And then once you say it, you said it.
It's so simple.
It is.
Simple. Easier said than done sometimes, but even adding a snack like an apple and peanut butter or something like that.
I was just, my favorite snack is just some kind of fruit, whatever, because it's easy. I don't have to, besides cutting up, a full pineapple or cantaloupe or something like that, like it's kind of there. And for those, like I have 3 children, I told you, they're 6, 5, and 3. And so, when I go to grab an apple, 9 times out of 10, Mommy, can I have an apple too? Absolutely. Like, and my son jokes now, like when he's done dinner, like if he wants a snack, he's like, I know it has to be an apple or a banana. And that's just not even like I'm trying to be strict on them, but just trying to, we don't buy a lot of snacks. As far as like the traditional, like Cheez-Its, chips, we do have, bars because my kids love those. But again, I look at the labels and try and pick out the best ones. But I do try and, start them start them now, not to say start them young, but it is like, it's a foundation. It's something that they can do for the rest of their life. And it is so simple. And the more I do it, the more they're going to want to do it. And same thing, like with the, the accountability, like even with us, like, Steph's eating shrimp tacos every Saturday. Like, okay, maybe it's okay that I can eat that. That's not a bad thing. Jess is eating enchiladas once a week. Kelly's got steak going on. Like those are, good, delicious meals, but we're all, in the healthy realm of eating, me being the not as much, but I'm getting there. And those are all delicious meals. It's not boring. It's not, disgusting. It is, still super delicious. Which again, trying to give you guys examples, things you can take home. All right. So ways to work with us. So both of these guys do one-on-one nutrition coaching. We will leave both of their emails in the, the bio or the description here. I'm not the best at this whole, like, since we're into it, not his pitch, but he's good at that. We'll leave their emails if you want to, reach out, if you see them at the gym and you want some help there. And then even more exciting, you could also work with all three of us. We are, all
Wow.
three of us.
That's pretty amazing. All three of us?
Literally hot off the press, made the final decision last night. That's why we're all here today. Not only, this was planned before, but just exciting, guys. We are going to be starting a 6-week summer slim down challenge starting next Friday, April 1st. It is going to be 6 weeks. Like I said, we are going full steam nutrition. The last time I did a challenge at BlkOps, it was mostly lifestyle with some nutrition in there. This time, with a lot of the feedback I got, you guys want some nutrition or more nutrition, more specific nutrition, more, guidance, advice on what to eat, how to eat. And we are going to tackle all of that. And I was going to say something else and it just fell out of my head. Story of my life. And then I was going to say, throwing in always some like mindset stuff, because you guys know BlkOps, it is not, just said it before, nutrition, working out is not just about what you eat. It's about having, awesome people around you supporting you. You're going to have 3 coaches, not just one. So look out. We're going to be sending out emails this week, or if you want to get ahead of it and reach out, we will get you set up and started. It's going to be
all of you that have reached out to me or Jess in the past couple of weeks.
Yes.
We're talking to you. You should do this.
Yes. You have been
Sign up.
pre-selected.
Yeah.
So you already
I'm
have.
not going to call anyone
Not going to
out.
name names. Nope.
No names,
but you are
know who you are.
pre-selected. There is a spot waiting for you, and we will accept you with open arms. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to go over again the, kind of the levels we talked about today. We're going to talk more absolutely about macros, what exactly they are, because we probably said it, and some people are going to be like, excuse me, English, please. We're going to talk about that. Micronutrients too, because they matter. What the heck that means and how you can actually eat the right things for you and get your workouts in around that. And then go into water. I think we even mentioned water, but that's also something that is super easy. You can even do with your diet, is just start drinking more water. Don't even try and get to like a certain number, just add more water in, because majority of people are not drinking enough water. And especially if you're working out, it's, it's even that much more important. And did I tell cost yet? Cost, so it's me $99 for 6 weeks, which is a steal. Again, you're working with all 3 of us, and we have a lot planned, and we're going to be planning more as it goes. We'll weekly meetings, a software that you're going to have access to do like a daily checklist. So just all the accountability. Like I said, that's kind of the golden goose. More than anything we said today is having people on your side that, one, kind of know what they're talking about, which I think 3 of us together, we have a little, we've got some experience. And then also we really want we have your health in mind. We want you to be better. We want to be better, and we can all do that together and have a lot of fun and get ready for summer. It'll end you like the week before Memorial Day. So perfect timing. Yeah. And anything else, just shoot us an email. This was fun, ladies. Thank you.
It was a great time.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Anytime. All right, guys, take care.
Cut.
Cut.
No, but I don't know how to turn it off.
Oh.